I made the mistake of resetting my island when the 2.0 update came out last month. Since then, I've spent hundreds of hours redesigning, revamping, and redoing everything I possibly could on the new island. We've still got a long way to go as far as designing this island, but I wanted to give you a progress update to see how far we've come and take a look back at what things used to look like. Also, if you want to keep up to date on all the projects and stuff we do on this island, we live stream all our progress every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern right here on YouTube Live Saturdays and Sundays. So be sure to come on by, but with that said, let's start the video. So we'll start off at the original entrance of Animal H. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot what it looked like. So as you can see, my entrance has changed a lot. I really tried to like make it more functional because like it just felt so awkward always getting like shoved to go to the right, to go up and around, especially with like the new entrance going up this staircase this direction, right? I have the same kind of functional area here on the right, you know, with the pipe, the crafting stuff, but this one is a much more better design. It's still very functional. It's got everything you need, the mirror, the bank, somewhere to cook and everything, but it looks a lot nicer than what we had previously, where it was just a bunch of junk DIYs on the ground. So this used to be the stage area. We had this big catwalk that we used for like costume contests and stuff. It's very ugly. I mean, I had a better version of this before the festival update, and then when this holiday came, I kind of just like exploded way too much of these items. It looks so bad, but it's not really much better on my island currently because it is blank. I've been meaning to get around to designing this. Haven't had the right inspiration yet, but I've kind of been just leaving it blank. This has kind of been my my workshop area where when I move houses, I've been moving them here. Here is the old version of the farm. Since there's a bunch of new crops that came with the update, I decided, of course, that I'm going to want to really expand the farm so we can have way more crop options. You might notice some similarities. A lot of the similar items have returned here, but now we've expanded the farm to be a lot bigger to house all these crops. I'm gonna be honest with you though, now that I have like 1 million of these crops, I might actually make this farm a little bit smaller because genuinely, because there's so many crops, it's like lagging this side of the island even more than it should. So I might contain this area a little bit now that I have a bunch of the crops. Going to Town Square, it's pretty similar to what we had before. We just don't have those dinosaurs anymore because we've changed the entire layout of the shopping district. We used to have these sideways staircases here to where we would have a little small yard to where the Nook's Cranny would be, as well as Able Sisters. Rather than having an awkward small space for each of the shops on either side, we've actually made a brand new shopping district area. You might notice some similarities, of course. We still have the picnic tables on either side that return. A lot of the bones of the original area are also still here too. We just kind of moved the layout of them and made it a lot more functional, and honestly, I think it looks way better. Going north, you could go up here to the museum district where we had this long bridge with the viewing platforms on either side. You could look down to the farm on one side, or you could look down to the fossil district here in the middle. Since technically this is where the museum used to be, we've moved the museum back a little bit further to accommodate for this new shopping district. Now the museum is back in this little area. It's got a fountain in front of it. It's still got our bug and fish exhibits on either side. This time they're just a little bit smaller and contained. But I think things are looking a lot better, taking up smaller of a space and hopefully a little less laggy. So behind the old museum layout, we had this open deck area, which actually I really like this. There's a deck you could look out to this amazing waterfall vista area. Yeah, this is all this area was. You could hop between these waterfalls. This is a really pretty thing, and I really I'm proud of this area. But like, you know, it was just a big kind of waste of space almost because, you know, I just use this whole area. It's just something you could look at. It's not like really you can do much up here besides just like hop around and look at these waterfalls and stuff like that. But it was still pretty cool. I like this build. It just wasn't very practical, all things considered. And on the new island, we transformed this area into a lower leveled campsite area. This is one of my more recent projects, was setting up this area. I'm not totally in love with it or done with it for that matter just yet. Like these glow moths, it's kind of just like temporarily threw them in just to see what it would look like. Now that it's fully grown, not really the vibe, but I just wanted to see how it looked. But it's got some similar stuff from the campsite we had previously and use this area as something functional. Fun fact, did you know if you subscribe in the next 10 seconds, you will immediately be cool? Those who continue to watch the video and are unsubscribed are just cringe. They're simply just cringe. And you don't want to be cringe. So if we all subscribe at the same time, on the count of 3, it'll create a vortex of cool and it'll eliminate all cringe in the entire world. It's just how it works. Trust me, this is science. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Cringe! Oh, I tricked you. Now you just subscribe to cringe content. I regret to inform you it's not free and you can never change your mind later. Yep, you're stuck. Welcome to the cringe community. Anyways, thanks for listening. Let's keep going with the video. Moving on, let's take a tour of my villager neighborhood. The layout is similar to what we had before, but there has been a lot of changes to it. As you can see, the roads now all have sidewalks along the entire way. Like you may recognize this area too, looks very similar to what we had previously. But yeah, generally the bones of this area is still relatively the same. The houses are still laid out in similar areas, but there's just a little bit subtle changes. I mean, now there's even a new bridge, so we have even double the amount of bridges that we had previously up here. And now you can see a change now too. My home as well is now on an upper, higher level. And I mean, I guess it's also worth mentioning, there's a giant castle surrounding my entire home now. Now there is much more room in my area for my house. But my yard is not even close to being done designed. It's completely blank still. I have literally done nothing with it yet, because I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do just yet, but there's so much more room to work with, and I'm excited to work on this project in the future. The biggest change though is the fact that we removed a lot of stuff that was on the original island. This used to be where the Red's alleyway was, where there were so many items on the island, and those are all gone. We ripped them all up. They're all in my storage, put away. Maybe we'll do something similar eventually, but for now, we just have this area blank. Same goes for the castle that was originally up here. There is just nothing up here. It is completely blank. It just never turned out how I wanted it to. I had kind of an idea for it, you know, using the silos and like the simple panels. It just never really like turned out perfectly how I wanted it. It felt like just a big waste of space, all things considered. So see, I never even finished some of the areas here. I left it largely blank. So there you have it. There's the new version of my island. It's still got the general layout and like structure of the original island with the layout and stuff like that. We got like a farm on either side with the shopping district relatively central, keeping like Able Sisters and Nooks together and whatnot. But I don't know. I just feel like this one turned out a lot better than we had previously. It's a lot more functional. There's a lot more accessibility. Like for example, we can go right here to go to the village or neighborhood. I'm really proud of it so far. I mean, there's still a lot more to do. Like, for example, a lot of my villagers' yards are completely empty. Not to mention, of course, this side of the island is still basically blank. There's nothing here but hybrid flowers that I've been kind of just like hoarding for the longest time. So I guess that's kind of good news. There's room for expansion and future projects, but it's also a little overwhelming that there's still so much more to do even with all the stuff we have changed. Because a lot of the work we've done so far is really just revamping areas on the island that were there previously with new stuff. Like making these villagers' yards a little bit bigger, making the farm bigger to accommodate new crops, making things just a little bit more functional so you can run through them a lot easier. But really the biggest goal was to kind of prevent lag. Honestly, that was the biggest takeaway I had when just barely touring my previous island, right? Was seeing the massive difference in how much this island doesn't lag by comparison to the old one. The old one is so bad. It's unbelievable. While we have made a lot of progress, I don't think we're done just yet. There's still a lot more I want to do, a lot more projects I still want to work on, a lot more space to still fill in. Again, I don't want to overwhelm things. I don't want my island to lag again. That was literally the worst thing ever. That made my experience in this game awful. So I want to, of course, keep designing. I want to finish all the villagers' yards and whatnot, but I also want to maintain the fact that make sure there's not going to be any more lag. I like being able to run on faster. I don't know, it just makes my experience a little bit more fun, you know? But thank you all so much for joining me for this quick video tour of the updates we've done on my island. It's crazy to see like the before and after of all of these areas and how much we've done. I mean, for one, the fact that it's so much less laggier is like the biggest benefit. But also I think it's a lot more functional too. There was a lot of like mistakes I made here and there on this island that kind of constrained movement and stuff like, oh, is other Jammer coming to the outro? Alright, we'll do it together then. But anyways, if you liked this video, be sure to give it a big awesome like. And if you haven't already, definitely subscribe for tons more on Animal Crossing and New Horizons. I'm only going to be doing a few more things till the end of the year. I like to tone things down, you know, so it gives people some time for the holidays, spend time with my family myself. So there'll only be a couple more streams and videos for the rest of the year. And then I'll catch up with the rest of you guys again back in January. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya!